Hello world, and welcome back to the Dweebatron channel. In episode 18, I want to talk about Springbok puzzles and McCoy Pottery. First, let's talk about what has been selling. Sunbeam Appliances came through again for me recently, with this waffle iron selling for nearly $50, and this T20B toaster going for nearly $100. I also sold more than one pair of these Sunbeam beaters. I finished listing my old stock of beer cans not long ago, and they have been selling through decently. Most of them I've been selling in sets to make it worth my time, but some of them have done pretty well on their own, like this old Corona can. Of course, the usual assortment of pottery and glass got sold recently as well. This sculptured Daisy Metlocks pitcher brought $36.59, and this McCoy sailboat-themed vase brought $28.75. We'll talk more about McCoy in just a bit. This Fenton Rosecrest dresser set sold for $50, and this toothpick holder in Fostoria's Louise pattern listed and sold in less than a day for $25.50. Here's a cool piece, a little berry bowl in the 1903 Columbia pattern by U.S. Glass. The fancy colored stainwork that can often be found on the pieces of this pattern have earned it the collector nickname Church Windows. This little bowl brought $28.71. I still have hundreds, if not thousands, of old bottles I need to get listed as a result of a lifetime of digging in the dirt. I've been listing a few here and there to get them in the mix, and they are selling through accordingly. Dr. Sage's Catarrh Remedy sold for $16.70, while Fairchild's Pepsin Powder brought $13.71. Let's talk about Springbok puzzles. Springbok Editions started making quality jigsaw puzzles in 1963. Their puzzles were very popular, and by 1970 they had been bought out by Hallmark. I have watched the popularity and the prices of Springbok puzzles go up and down several times since I started selling. Right now their prices are lower than I've ever seen them, but they are generally still selling through. Here is one I recently sold for $20 that had a piece missing. It is rare enough that someone still wanted it. There are all kinds of different Springbok puzzles to watch out for. The older ones are generally the most sought after, and in the early days, Springbok puzzles had this logo featuring a picture of a Springbok. After Hallmark bought them out, the logo changed to a more modern look. The circular and octagonal boxes are pretty easy to spot, and those puzzles generally do pretty well. Hallmark apparently phased out the odd-shaped boxes and puzzles in favor of square everything. You can find bookcase puzzles, which have 2 puzzles in each set. You can find miniature puzzles, many of which have matching larger versions. There are wooden Springbok puzzles instead of the standard paperboard puzzles. I've always wanted to find a wooden Springbok puzzle, but I haven't found one yet. Another category of Springbok puzzle I've never found yet is a puzzle from the State Map Puzzle series, like this one here. Once in a while, you can even find special order puzzles that Springbok made for various companies and groups. I found this NFL puzzle at the end of 2017. This was a limited edition special order, and as you can see, it did pretty well for me. Still, putting puzzles together for money is probably never going to work out to a very good hourly wage. But if you love puzzles like I do, and you just work on them while your eggs are cooking, or while you are waiting for the washer to finish like I do, then why not sell them when you're finished, right? Alright, let's talk about McCoy Pottery. McCoy Pottery is another one of those items that are often marked, usually something like this. And when I first started going to sales, I kept spotting pieces with this mark, so I bought some books. This book here is one of the first ones that I bought. And just like my Noritake book, this one has a section that shows several different markings that are out there, and this helps me find lots of different pieces over the years that I might have otherwise overlooked. One of the McCoy lines that I learned about was their Floraline line. Made for the florist industry, Floraline featured plain and simple designs and matte colors. This line is almost always marked Floraline on the bottom, and it is still fairly easy to find at a good price, and it still sells pretty well. Here are a few Floraline pieces that sold on eBay recently. McCoy made lots of different fancy vases and planters over the years. I really like this lizard-handled vase that someone recently sold. But I think what McCoy Pottery is perhaps best known for is their cookie jars. They made jars in all kinds of different shapes and designs, and it looks like some of their cookie jars are still doing pretty well. Here's a few examples of some that have recently sold. But at the top of the McCoy sold pile right now is this leopard lamp with eyes that light up. That's what I'm looking for. So keep an eye out for pieces of McCoy next time you're out hunting. Who knows what you might find? That wraps up episode 18. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. For more content, be sure to check out my eBay store and my Facebook page. Both value vintage, just like you see it spelled here. I'll be back with another episode before you know it, so be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss it. Until next time, be sure to take good care of each other, and I'll see you then.